What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I got on my Instagram. I put out a poll on my Instagram story asking you guys to ask me all things money. Anything about investing, to real estate, to the stock market, to saving, to retirement. Anything like that, because I would love to make these videos about answering your questions instead of me just making videos that I think you want to see. You know, maybe that's me channeling my inner Dave Ramsey. I'd love to be like that guy someday and just sit at my desk and answer financial questions all day. Maybe one day, if you guys think he's getting a little older, right? Maybe he wants to retire and I can fill in for him. But anyway, one of the questions I got was actually a question that I received about a month and a half ago that I meant to do a video on because it seems to be a popular question, and that is on long distance real estate investing or investing out of state. So what I thought I would do is I'd make a video on the pros and cons of long distance real estate investing. Now I'm not going to be able to go over all of them in this video, but I am going to go over the main ones, and make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to go over how I would do it if I were going to invest. The first one and the biggest one is going to be a pro, and that is going to be cheaper prices. Most of you looking to invest out of state or invest long distance, it's because the pricing in your area does not fit your budget. That's the most common answer I get for investing out of state. So yes, it's true. If you only have $30,000, you're probably not going to be able to buy anything in downtown New York. You're probably not even going to be able to put a down payment on anything in downtown New York. But that same $30,000 can come to an area like mine and buy an entire house, as you guys have recently seen on my Instagram stories. We just recently bought a house for $8,500. We put $1,500 into it and we put it back up on the market. Now, it wasn't a full rehab, but it was more like a wholesale, and we just put it back on the market and we ended up selling it for about $27,000. Now that's something you can't do in many places of the country, and you certainly can't do that in places like Charleston, South Carolina, or Houston, Texas, or Atlanta, Georgia. Anywhere where the market is exploding or it's a very popular place to live, your $30,000 isn't going to buy much, if anything, in those locations. So the next logical answer for you guys is to start investing out of state or investing in other counties near you, and that makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you may have to move. I put that suggestion on my Instagram story, and a few of you got a little bit upset and you were like, you can't just up and move. No, it's not easy, but yes, you can up and move. It might take you a little while to prepare for it and to save for it, but moving is a possibility, and actually I suggest it. I think everybody should move or travel for an extended amount of time as soon as they get out of high school. But that's just my opinion. But in the same note, you can't really complain that you can't buy anything in your area if your area keeps going up in pricing and you're not doing anything to change that. You either have to make more money or find more money, or invest long distance like we're talking about here, or you may have to move. It is a possibility. All right, now for a con, and this is kind of a 2-for-1 here, but it's going to be finding the right people to help manage your projects, and you're going to have less control. And this for me is the biggest con because I personally like to have control over my own investments. I am getting better at that. I don't check on my properties and on my rentals as much as I was, but it's still hard for me, and I do like the comfort of being able to just drive out and be at one of my projects in under 30 minutes. But if you're going to invest long distance, it's not going to be really feasible for you to be checking on these projects all the time. Also, you're going to have to find the right people, and I know how hard that is to do here when I can manage them and check in on them. I could not imagine trying to find somebody 3 or 4 states away that I can trust with my project and with my money to stay on budget, to stay on time, and to manage my projects correctly. But that might be my own hang up. This is why I highly suggest that if you are a new investor, that you try to stay local as possible, because you do not know much about what's going on yet. You are just learning yourself, and it's going to be very, very hard for you to understand what other people are doing 3 or 4 or 5 states away, and to be able to manage them correctly and give them the right things to do and give them the right instructions and tools to succeed when you yourself do not know yet. And obviously it's going to be more expensive finding the right people. It's going to cost you more, and property managers are going to cost you more. You're going to have to pay somebody to manage these properties because you cannot do it on your own when these places are 6, 7 states away from you. You just can't do it. So again, that would be the biggest con for me in both trying to find the right people and losing control over my own investments. If I was going to do it, I would do it with somebody like us, my company, where I give them the money. They already have a professional establishment and a system set up in that area, and all I'm doing is giving them my money. Sure, I'll make a little less, but now I'm having professionals handle my money and invest in that area. That is something that I would advise, and not just because I do it, but because I think that's probably the safest way to go about long distance real estate investing. Guys, real quick, before we get into this next pro, if my videos help you in any way and you like my content, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up button down below. It really helps my channel grow and helps me get my video in front of more people, which helps me educate more people, which is my main goal here. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, to get into the next pro, less competition. This is kind of an obvious one, right? If you're going to be less expensive, it's going to probably be less competition. But sometimes you may have the money but cannot find the investment properties. So like somewhere where I used to live, Charlottesville, Virginia, it's exploding and it's hard to get a property there. So for example, if you go to an auction house in a rural area, you may be bidding against 2, 3, 4, 5 other people. But if you go to somewhere like Charlottesville or Houston and there's an auction on the courthouse stairs, you may be bidding against 50 or 100 other people. And guess what that's going to do? It's going to drive the price up. So if the bid here starts at $50,000 and we go back and forth a few times with some other people, maybe we get to $65,000. That same thing happens in Houston. You're probably going to drive that price up to $100,000, $150,000 because more people can bid against it. And more people means two things. One, it's going to mean big money is there so they can pay and buy up more properties than you can. And less educated people are going to be there. So they will bid up the property not knowing they shouldn't pay that much, and now they just outbid you and they're going to lose money. That's unfortunate for both parties, but that's what happens when you get a bunch of people involved. And it's not just for the auctions, it's for the on-market deals, it's for the wholesalers. If you're a wholesaler here, you may only have 20 people to send out your wholesale houses to. But if you're in a huge market, you may have a list of 100 and 150. So if you don't act extremely quickly, you're not going to get that wholesale deal. Whoever opens that email first, 20, 30 people hurry up and open that email up first, and you're like at lunch or something, you wait just an hour, that deal is probably gone. And that's what happens in the bigger areas. Now I am talking negatively about the bigger and more popular areas, but only for this video. I don't think it's a bad thing to invest in these areas if you can get properties and you can afford them, because it usually means the houses will sell for more and more quickly, and sometimes it can mean larger profit margins. So real quick, I just want to say that in this video. So yes, it's true. If you go to a less popular area and there's less people there bidding or buying up properties, it is true that you'll probably have a better opportunity to get your investment property. The next one is a con. It's actually going to play off the last one, which is also less competition, usually means less quality. So what that means is if right around here we only have like 5 or 10 painters we can turn to paint all of our houses, which means they get comfortable and they get lazy because they know that we're going to have to rely on one of them to keep going back to, because we just don't have enough laborers to take the positions. But if you're in a place like San Francisco, there's probably 200, 300, 400 painters, and they all have to be extremely good at their job, and they have to be competitive with their pricing because they're going up against so many other businesses. Around here, we just don't have that. And I'm going to keep comparing it back to here because I know this market, but Charleston, West Virginia is not the only rural market in the U.S. There is thousands of them. So don't just focus just on Charleston and think you guys have to all come here. Please do not. We got this on lock. You guys go find your own area. But yes, less competition can sometimes be a bad thing, especially when it comes to businesses, because competition is good for breeding excellence and breeding high quality and competitive pricing. And sometimes around here, we don't have that. So keep that in mind as well. All right, I'm going to end these pros and cons on a high note. And the last pro I'm going to go over is kind of a bonus pro, and that would be vacation property. Now, this is what Rhiannon and I would love to do. And actually, a lot of times when we're visiting Mexico or other countries or other islands, we do go look at properties because we think that if you're going to invest out of state or long distance invest, then you should make it a win-win and turn it into an investment vacation property. And how you do this is you find a place that you would love to visit or love to vacation to on your own. You buy the rental property, you rent it out on something like Airbnb or VRBO or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace for 11 months out of the year as a vacation rental. You leave 1 month open for you and your wife or your family to enjoy, and then you get that for free, and all of your vacationers and your renters pay off your vacation home. It also allows you to buy a more expensive property than you may have bought on your own because again, you're subsidizing the mortgage by having all these vacationers and these renters help you pay that mortgage. So yes, maybe right now you could not afford a $6,000 a month mortgage on a beach house, but if you can make $8,000 to $9,000 a month by renting it out for a weekly basis, now you can afford it. Now you do need to do your research and be careful because at the end of the day, yes, you are responsible for that $6,000 mortgage, but if you buy in a very popular area and don't buy in any hurricane zones, do your research. If you buy in a very popular area and you can get conservatively $9,000 a month off of rentals, even with some vacancy, then go for it because you've just covered your mortgage by $3,000, which is excellent cash flow, but also helps you cover that 1 month where you're not going to rent it out and you and your family are going to be vacationing there. So I think that pro is probably one of the best ways to invest in a rental property or a vacation property long distance. Look, I could talk for hours on this, but I just wanted to give you guys the vegan meat and potatoes of the pros and cons of long distance real estate investing. There's a ton of other pros and cons, like there could be lower property taxes or higher property taxes. You may need to learn the laws and the rules of investing in that area or being a landlord in that area. So there's a lot you need to learn, and I would really implore you to do your due diligence before you go investing out of state because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you do it the wrong way. This is why if I were going to do it, what I would do is I would partner with somebody else in that area. So you can do that in a couple ways. You can do it like I said, with a company where you just give them your money, or you find someone else there doing something you're doing and now you go, hey, I have some capital. Do you want to partner up? Go find us a property, I'll bring in the capital, and then what we can do is do like a 60-40 split on this thing until it's paid off. And so that's an excellent way to do that. They already know the market, they already know the area, they know where the good rentals are. You don't have to do all that due diligence, and you also don't have to manage it. They can do all that. You're just bringing your capital in, which they may need, and now it's a good partnership. So like with anything else, just do your research, do your due diligence, research the area, and make sure it would be a good investment for you. And another thing you could do is invest where family is. I think that's another smart idea. So if you're always going home to visit family anyway, or you have family that can manage and check in on your properties, that could work for you. I'm actually thinking about doing that back in my hometown of Charlottesville because I know a lot of people there and I can trust them to check on my properties, and that would make me feel more relaxed about investing it so far away. At the end of the day, this is going to be a personal preference and what fits your personality. Some people can do this a whole lot easier than others. Actually, like just for example, my partners could do this a lot easier than I could. They're already talking about investing in other states where it makes me nervous. I know, again, how hard it was to set up our system right here, and we have a good thing going here, but it's taken a lot of work. In fact, 3 years to put a decent system together. I could not imagine, once again, like I said earlier, putting that same system together, trying to find the same amount of quality people to put in another state or another county. It's going to be very hard, but with risk comes reward, and so I'm not as afraid of the work as so much as I'm afraid about trusting the people. But I hope this video helps you guys. I hope it gives you some of the pros and cons that you guys were looking for, and I hope it helps you make your decision. If you have any more questions or think of anything that I missed, please comment them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.